We all know gas prices are high, but how long do you have to actually work before you can afford to fill up?
Plus, an update tonight on a 17-year-old girl from Ukraine detained at the San Ysidro border.
Long lines of Ukrainians waiting to get into the U.S. More on the conditions and the help that's needed.
Creepy, crawly, and hidden inside a chessboard. The airport where authorities confiscated more than 140 smuggled tarantulas.
Though it's not the best material to float a boat, the concrete canoe races will put the best engineers in colleges from California and beyond to the test.
You thought March Madness was competitive? We were at the meanest competition happening here at Heritage Elementary School in Escondido, where they are building the longest PB&J sandwich.
CBS 8 News Live at 6 starts now.
Gas prices just finished more than a month straight of daily rises in San Diego, setting new record highs every day along the way. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Carlo Cicchetto.
I'm Marcella Lee. According to AAA today, the national average for a gallon of gas is $4.21, and that sounds like a bargain for us here in California. In San Diego, our average price for a gallon of regular is $5.97, but at least it's below that $6 mark.
Yeah, with gas prices so high, though, CBS 8's Kirsten Holmes is working for you and went to find out how much you have to work to be able to afford that tank of gas. She joins us live with some answers. Kirsten.
Hey guys, I do not have good news. Minimum wage earners have to work almost 4 hours just to be able to afford a tank of gas. I want you to take a look behind me. I'm here at the Chevron on Balboa, where right now a regular gallon of gas is $6.09. And don't have to be one of those people that has to get Supreme, because that is $6.39. Drivers I talk to say that they're just trying to be able to afford gas prices so that they can get to work, pay their bills, and put food on the table. It's horrible.
Crazy. It's just ridiculous.
These gas prices are killing me, man.
Matthew Garcia is likely speaking for a lot of San Diegans. He knew it was bad, but he says he was still surprised at how long he would have to work just to be able to afford to fill up.
It's ridiculous because I do work a minimum wage job, and basically I just paid $54.21. That is what I average working 4 hours.
Kim Cicchetto says gas prices plus her commute are eating away at her income.
I do 20, but I got a good car. But it doesn't matter now. After the pandemic, we're all a mess.
We can go anywhere else in the United States and not pay that.
Around Super Bowl Sunday, like February 13th, it was like at $4.50 to the gallon. It cost me like $40 to fill her up. Now it's $55.
So here's how it breaks down. In California, the minimum wage for most companies is $15 an hour. So on that salary, workers would have to work almost 4 hours. Some drivers say they feel helpless to do anything about it.
Can you continue to afford the rise in gas prices?
I mean, I have to, I have to get to work. Gotta go do my stuff, so I need my car. Yeah, so whatever the price is, I'm gonna have to pay it.
The people who need to get to work and have to drive,
able to put the gas in.
And it's like it takes food out of their pocket.
How often are you filling up?
Every 4 days.
While others are doing what they can to get the best bang for their buck when it comes to filling up.
I try my best to at least fill up at least weekly. I don't let it drop down all the way to E. I go to like at least maybe like a quarter tank and then fill it up so I don't spend as much.
And they offer a few tips.
Be smart with the way you drive. Don't drive like a maniac and you'll save your gas.
All right, so it may not surprise you that California is ranked the most expensive state to get gas. And Personal Capital, a finance company that studied gas rates all across the country, says that here in San Diego, a gallon of gas will get you a gallon and a half of milk. So you know that's going to leave some people wondering between whether or not to buy gas or groceries. Working for you, Kirsten Holmes, CBS 8.
Yeah, hitting everyone hard, Kirsten. We know there's a price to living in paradise here in San Diego. What are some of the other cities feeling this special kind of pain at the pump right now?
It is a very special kind of pain, isn't it? Okay, so number one is New York City. That's the most expensive city to buy gas, followed by LA, Chicago, Houston, and Phoenix, Arizona. Again, all of this is according to Personal Capital.
All right, we got the weather though, right? Thanks, Kirsten. Meantime, gas prices have dropped a little over the last few days, and President Biden has announced a historic plan to release 1 million barrels per day from the nation's strategic oil reserves over a 6-month period. Does that mean prices at the pump will drop in coming weeks and months? Coming up in our second half hour new, an expert from UC Berkeley will weigh in on what's ahead.
A 17-year-old girl who traveled here from Ukraine is still waiting in a detention center tonight down at the border.
The teenager crossed the border at San Ysidro with a family friend who is a U.S. citizen. As CBS 8's David Groffertson reports, the U.S. citizen was allowed in, but the girl was taken into custody.
The line of Ukrainian refugees at the San Ysidro border crossing keeps getting longer by the day. Dozens of families, some with young children, waiting to cross on foot into the United States. It can take months or years to get approval to enter the U.S. as a refugee, so these people, most of them carrying valid Ukrainian passports, are hoping to claim asylum and enter the United States under temporary humanitarian parole.
I don't know if it's the Biden administration or just the immigration policies of the U.S. in general. They're just not allowing Ukrainian refugees into the States. Right now, this is the only border that is open for Ukrainian refugees.
One of the refugees, 17-year-old Liza Krasulia, is here with a family friend, Molly Sorosky, a U.S. citizen with a notarized letter from the teenager's mother granting guardianship.
We have from Elizaveta's mother, Natalie. She wrote a letter granting me permission to cross the border with her.
Liza's mother is stuck in Poland with the teenager's best friend, her father still in Ukraine because men are not allowed to leave the country. When the girl crossed into the United States on Wednesday, she was taken into custody as an unaccompanied minor.
The Border Patrol separated us. They said that they would not accept that document because Liza doesn't have a parent or a relative with her.
CBS 8 has been calling and emailing government agencies, but for now, the teenager remains in Customs and Border Protection custody.
She called me and she said that she's being treated inhumanely, that she's being treated like a prisoner, not a refugee of war, and that she's in a cell with no windows with 25 other refugees who she said were also minors or mothers with their children.
Out here live at the San Ysidro border, we just got some really good news. That teenager is expected to be released from custody tonight. The family friend Molly just arrived down here to meet her, and we're going to be following that. My colleague Steve Fiorina is with the family friend Molly, and they're going to meet the teenager as she comes out. Back to you.
David, that is great news, and presumably Liza will be going with Molly and be taken care of by Molly. Hopefully she gets out in the next few hours.
Right, Molly, it will be serving as her guardian. Molly lives in Los Angeles, so the teenager will be living up there. It was what a story on this family. I mean, the father had to drive Liza and her mother to the border. He's not allowed to leave Ukraine, so he had to leave them in Poland. And now the father, I'm told, is living in a forest so he can remain safe from Russian troops.
Wow, these families are going through so much. Hopefully Liza at least can get into the U.S., get a good night's sleep there with Molly, that family friend and guardian. Thanks so much, David. Coming up tonight in our second half hour, we will have more on the other Ukrainian refugees at our border and the work of the volunteers who are there trying to help them.
Meantime, Ukraine is denying reports its military launched an attack on Russian soil as Moscow continues its attacks near several Ukrainian cities.
Humanitarian workers say conditions on the ground there forced them to retreat today from an effort to evacuate civilians. Deborah Alfarone is at the White House with the very latest.
A U.S. official confirms Ukrainian forces used helicopters to strike a fuel depot and set it ablaze in Russian territory. The official says Ukraine also struck a Russian ammunitions depot earlier this week. A top Ukrainian security official denies his country's involvement, though the Russians are also pointing the finger at Kyiv.
The attacks on the Russian territory, they just reflect the real intention of the Ukrainian side and the real intention for any peace talks.
We know who the aggressor is. That is President President Putin and Russia.
An international Red Cross team says it will try again Saturday to reach the battered city of Mariupol to evacuate civilians. Ukrainian officials on the ground say the Russians broke their promise to create a safe humanitarian corridor.
There is no plan B here. Time is running out for the people of Mariupol.
U.S. officials expect fighting to become more intense as Russian troops regroup in the eastern Donbas region of Ukraine. To help Ukraine in the fight, 100 specialized drones from the U.S., also known as Switchblades, arrived in Ukraine on Friday.
Over the past few weeks, we have delivered more than $350 million of security assistance to Ukraine.
Russian forces have left the Chernobyl nuclear site, and representatives from the UN Nuclear Watchdog Organization are headed there now. They say the general radiation level around the decommissioned power plant is normal. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, the White House.
A U.S. Air Force spokesperson confirms to CBS News the military has canceled an intercontinental ballistic missile test to avoid any kind of misunderstanding from Russia.
New developments in the controversy surrounding Will Smith. He has now resigned from the Motion Picture Academy.
Smith's resignation comes 2 days after the Academy met to discuss disciplinary proceedings after he slapped Chris Rock during the Academy Awards ceremony on Sunday night. The slap came after Rock made a joke about Smith's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith. In a statement released today, Smith said he will accept any further punishment the Academy imposes.